Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Spiritist Philosophy for All. Today's topic is a question. Are you always right? Whenever you find individuals who are always right, you might, not all the time, but you might run into arrogant, proud individuals. Now, most people don't realize that arrogance can lead to so much trouble in our lives. When someone has pride within themselves, it means they feel they're always right, or it means they feel they know everything. Now, before we go on, it will be wise to distinguish the application of the word pride in different contexts. For example, you might hear a mother saying, I am proud of my son, or I'm proud of my daughter, I'm proud of my husband. And what she means by this is that she is happy with her relative's achievement. They have attained a certain goal and she's happy with it. This is not the kind of pride I am referring to. I'm referring to pride as the state of mind in which we believe that we are better than other individuals. Therefore, if I am a proud individual, it might mean that I think I know everything there is to know. Now, what is the biggest problem with that picture? If I think I know everything, then it means there is nothing else to learn. If I believe that I am better than everybody else, then it could probably mean that I'm not making any effort in order to better myself. To be proud, it means that I feel I am superior towards other people. And since I feel so superior, I could easily feel offended by what they do to me. Arrogant and proud individuals have a hard time listening to other people because they are so self-assured that they have all the knowledge that they don't listen to anyone else. Now, our pride can definitely hurt us in any stage of our lives, but it becomes extremely dangerous when we are teenagers, when we find ourselves in that period of life that we are so unsure of who we are. We are seeking our identity. And if we have pride within ourselves, it means we think we know everything. Not all teenagers, but the ones I had experience with, they have a hard time listening to other people because they think they know everything. And as a result, they don't listen. And they don't listen especially to those who care about them. Their parents, their father, their mother. And the problem with that is that they might end up listening to the wrong people. What I mean by this are the friends that become a negative influence in their lives and make him or her fall into life's traps. To heal our arrogance, to heal our pride in that context, we should make an effort to listen to others, because it might happen that they truly know more than we do. If I think I'm always right, then I'm not even listening to another person's argument. I am so self assured of my own arguments, of my own intellect, of my own superiority, that I'm not even giving myself the chance of listening, of learning from someone else. In life, there are many ways that we can learn. And we can also learn from our own experiences or from listening to other people. Let's say you're about to make a journey through a forest. And in this journey, you find many traps, many difficulties, hardships of all sorts, falling trees and venomous snakes, different holes that you can fall on. And you survive this trip, you conquer in crossing this very dangerous forest. So now that you have made the journey, you gain knowledge through your experience. Someone who is coming behind you, someone who is about to start that journey, they will only fall into the traps, into the hardships, into the holes that you have fallen if that person chooses not to listen to your advice, to your counseling. Let's say that at the end of your journey, you write a letter letting people know about the dangers of crossing this forest. So arrogant people, they will look at the letter and say, well, what does he know? I want to do it on my own. That person is subject to all the dangers of the forest that you've been through. Now, the question is, does that individual necessarily have to go through the troubles you have to learn what you have learned? Absolutely not. If that individual decides to read your letter and learn from your experience, that means he has gained your knowledge without suffering through the experiences of going through the forest. Life is the same way. We all know that life is full of hardships and challenges and unknowns. But there are a lot of people ahead of us in wisdom, in knowledge. And they write to us through books. They talk to us through lectures. And they are letting us know about the dangers of life. Now, I don't have to go through his or her same experience to know their knowledge. I could simply read from the book that they have written, and that book will provide me with all the resources I need to avoid committing the same mistakes they have, the same traps they have fallen. I could avoid them by simply reading and understanding their message. But if I am an arrogant individual, I will learn through my own experience. And that means that pain is not inevitable, but a choice that we make by not listening to people who are wiser than us. Knowledge can be passed on without causing any suffering. Experience, on the other hand, it is very hard to learn without pain. Life is a gigantic forest, and there are so many traps, there are so many unknowns, but also there are so many travelers who have succeeded in overcoming the obstacles of this forest. And they send us their powerful message. They let us know the path that we should take in only not to conquer the obstacles of the forest, but to go through as fast as we can. But in order to gain the knowledge of these individuals and avoid of going through the pain by creating our own experiences, we must have within us the antidote for pride, which is called humbleness, humility. What is humbleness? Humbleness or humility, unfortunately, is also misunderstood as pride. People think that by being humble, it means that you allow others to abuse you, to step on you. It means that you wear old clothes, that you sound ignorant when you speak. People refer to those individuals as being humble individuals. Being humble, it means I am aware of my own ignorance. Being humble, it means that I am aware that I don't know. I know that I don't know. Since I am aware of my own lack of knowledge, I am constantly listening to others to learn from their experience, to absorb their knowledge without going through the pain of their experiences. A humble individual is constantly growing, whereas a proud individual remains stationary in the ladder of evolution. That individual is stuck in time. Meanwhile, a humble individual is constantly growing. This does not only apply in the realm of spirituality, of psychology, but also in our professions. If you are an arrogant employee, it means you don't listen to other employees who are ahead of you in the company. Instead, if you are a humble employee, you're constantly observing others who are ahead of you in the company, and you're learning from their experiences. You're observing them and getting all the knowledge it took them many years to amass, while you, with your humbleness, can gain that knowledge in a short amount of time. So one always wins with humbleness, and one can always lose with being proud, with having arrogance. Because the word humbleness and humility is so misunderstood, let us be clear that we are not referring here to certain behaviors that we must have in order to progress, in order to move forward. To have determination, it is a quality needed for progress. In order for us to be assertive, it is also a quality that we need for progress. But we don't have to be aggressive to be assertive. We don't have to attack people in order to have our way. Pride means I think I know more than anyone else. I think that I am better than everybody else. And the result is that I remain stationary. I no longer grow because I'm not listening to their knowledge. I want to create the experience on my own, and I'm subject to make avoidable mistakes that were committed by many other people for the simple fact that I don't want to listen to them. Being aware of our own ignorance, it means that I know that I don't know. If I know that I don't know, I'm constantly searching new information. I'm constantly looking at others people's behavior, and I'm learning from their mistakes and from their correct choices as well. The truth of the matter is, I'm always moving forward by keeping a state of mind that always other people have something to teach us. Humbleness is so important that it gets to a point that we can even learn from animals. Animals can be our teachers, and people in general. It is a very unfortunate thing what we do to our elderly in our society. We stash them in nursing homes thinking they are useless. But how much knowledge the elderly can pass on to us? They are a great source of knowledge. Sometimes children are overlooked upon because we think they haven't lived yet. There's nothing they can teach us. But since children, they don't yet possess the veil of our social ills in their behavior. They are honest. They are truthful. And if we listen to them, there is much that we can learn, not only about our behavior, but life in general. Our friend Marcio, our producer, he's telling me that we have one question here from our viewers that came to our website. And I'm going to read the question here. And as we say previously, we'll keep the names anonymous for the simple fact that these are very personal questions. This question here came from A. Brown, Atlanta, Georgia. He's asking me that in the beginning I said that pride can cause our suffering. He's asking the question, how is it that arrogance can cause our suffering? An arrogant individual is someone who believes that they are always right. And if we truly believe that we're always right, we are easily offended by others. I do not allow anyone to make any mistakes towards me. My superiority complex gives me a social ascendancy, an illusion of a social ascendancy, of course, over others. And I can easily feel offended because other people are not attending to my needs. I could feel offended by the simple fact that someone didn't hold the door open for me in a supermarket. If I have a problem with a coworker, I'm unable to assume my part of the responsibility in whatever took place. Since I am an arrogant individual, I believe that everyone is at fault, except one person, and that is me. And the result of this state of mind is that I hold grudges against those who are not living their lives according to my expectations. It makes me become a very lonely individual, or at least a narrow-minded individual. When we are humble, we are able to perceive the other person's point of view. And let me be clear that this sentence, point of view, that is seldomly analyzed, it means that we are viewing something from a point. A point of view is a view of a point. So someone that we are interacting with, they are viewing the situation before both of us from a different angle, from a different point. And obviously, they will see something different. If I have pride, I think that my angle is the perfect angle and I'm seeing everything there is to see. With humbleness, on the other hand, I am able to project myself on the other person's point of view, and I get to see what else they're seeing. There is this concept within the study of management and industry called synergy. What is synergy? Synergy is the concept that two ideas or two forces, they are more than the sum of both parts. Which means that 2 plus 2 is not necessarily 4, but it could be a 6 or an 8 when it comes to ideas. For example, when someone has an idea at your job, and you have an idea about how things should be done at your job. If we discuss both ideas, the prevailing idea might not be solely his or yours, but the conjunction, the combination of these two ideas, which will be a better version of the two ideas standing alone. This is where humbleness also becomes a key factor in listening to other people's opinion. So a better version of our solutions can be a reality. But it is very difficult to deal with arrogant people at our place of work, because arrogant people, as usual, they think that their ideas are the best idea. They think only them have the highest knowledge. Their ideas alone will solve all the problems. It's very sad that they are unable to perceive that other people's knowledge and other people's wisdom should be taken into consideration. And another problem with arrogant individual that causes their suffering, it's the fact that once they see someone doing something better that they do, when they find out that someone has more knowledge than they have, because they have the characteristics within themselves to identify better qualities in other people than he or she has, it would create in them a very strong and emotional detrimental force to our well-being called envious. Envy. What is envy? Envy is when we are unhappy for other people's achievements or what they have conquered. An envious individual is constantly disturbed by other people's achievement. It could be material, psychological, social, but their achievement disturbs the envious individual. So that's how arrogance can create our pain and suffering, by us making avoidable mistakes and also by making us become envious of other people's achievement. We have another question here that was passed on by Marcio, our producer. This question came from F. Williams in San Francisco. Mr. F here asked us, how can we exercise humbleness? Well, Mr. Williams, that is an excellent question. How can we exercise humbleness? Humbleness is exercised by literally restraining ourselves from talking and giving other people the chance to express themselves. There are many different ways one can practice humbleness, but one of them is to practice listening. Now, it might seem very trivial to say that we can practice humbleness by practicing listening, but it's something that is seldomly done right. To carefully listen, to listen attentively. Usually when we are in a discussion, usually when we are discovering an idea or discussing a subject that has many different aspects, while someone else is talking and giving their point of view, we are conjuring up in our mind a response to their ideas. We are not carefully listening to what they're saying. So one can practice humbleness by truly admitting to ourselves that this individual has knowledge that yet we don't possess. And if I carefully listen to what they have to say, and if I acknowledge the importance of what they have said, not only I am getting out of my sense of superiority, but I'm also giving credit to someone. I am giving support to someone to express their ideas. With my behavior, I am also passing on to that individual the idea, the concept of how to give credit, listen to others. What I mean by listening, it doesn't mean that I am saying that we should accept all ideas that come from other people. But by truly understanding, by truly admitting to myself that this person is literally sitting in a different angle of life, and they are seeing things and aspects that I am not seeing. And if I carefully give them credit, if I carefully listen to what they're saying, my knowledge can be so much enhanced. And his idea or my idea might not prevail, but a combination of both ideas. Just imagine how much happier couples would be if they gave true attention while the other one was speaking. Aren't the fights amongst couple so many times about who is right? Sometimes our partner is not even requesting that we accept their idea, but that we truly listen to what they're saying, that we are carefully paying attention to each word and we're giving credit to what they're feeling, to what they're experiencing. And with humbleness, we will always solve our problem by carefully paying attention to that life is a collective enterprise of knowledge, and every single individual has something to contribute. If you want to go more in depth on this subject, we suggest that you read the Spirit's book. Every word, every sentence, every argument made in this book, it's not for you to believe in what the book says. It is for you to ponder. It is for you to rationalize and arrive at your own conclusion. You see, this book is made up of many individuals. It's made up of the knowledge of many individuals from our past who have written to us, who have spoken to us, who has passed on their knowledge to us, telling us how to avoid the traps of life, and most importantly, how we can pass through the shortest path in life to avoid misery and produce happiness in our lives. It solely depends on us to have the humbleness of reading, digesting, and arriving at our own conclusions. And you will find that you are changing little by little, but progressively. Not because someone told you so, but because you realized that humbleness, it is the best pathway to gain knowledge. And with humbleness, we will avoid the misery and pain in our lives by not making avoidable mistakes. By reading the book, you realize that your happiness is solely upon your hands, and you are the true architect of your life. Make the best choices by listening to others, exercising humbleness, and peace should be yours.